Thank you both. The coin toss also determined the order of the questions. Congressman Bacon, you will go first. You will have a minute and a half to answer. Then State Senator Vargas, you will follow with a minute and a half. Julie Cornell has the first question of the night. Julie?
Hey, thanks, Rob. So we're starting with one issue that most Americans agree on. A survey from the Pew Research Center finds an overwhelming 81% of registered voters say that the economy is the top issue for them this election. What policies and legislation would you take on first in Washington?
Well, thank you, Julie. It is the #1 issue by far. The average American is 4.2% poorer today than they were 4 years ago. And we have to ask ourselves, how do we get here? It was inflationary spending, particularly the first 2 years of this administration with a Democrat House, a Democrat Senate, that fueled inflation. Nearly $3 trillion was flushed into the economy in a $30 trillion economy, which is about a 10% addition. And that was the inflation, roughly, that we received. Since we've had a Republican House, we've cut a lot of the supplemental and extra spending that was done in the first 2 years. And now we're seeing inflation coming down, and now we're starting to see interest rates coming down. By the way, my opponent supported all of those inflationary bills that were done in the first 2 years of Congress. The American Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Act was actually the Inflation Multiplication Act when you look at the actual results. But he supported those inflationary bills. And don't take my word for it. We have Democrat economists. Larry Summers, he worked for Clinton, worked for Obama, warned us that this was going to happen. So how do we further make progress for the American people so they can put food on the table? One, we need to ensure that we continue with the tax cuts that we did in 2017. They were middle-class tax cuts. Two, I want to give people on Social Security tax cuts. People who rely on Social Security shouldn't have to pay taxes on those. And those working hard in our restaurants, and I used to work in a restaurant, they should be able to keep their tips tax-free.
Congressman, thank you. Senator Vargas, a minute and a half.
Thank you. Look, the economy and our cost of living is everything. And I say that as somebody that is a working class parent. My wife and I are figuring out how to make ends meet right now. And my parents did the exact same thing. This is the reason why in my career in the legislature, I have voted for $6 billion worth of tax cuts. It's also the reason why we've been balancing budgets with a focus on giving money back to you. It's also the reason why I got named a taxpayer defender by a conservative organization. But it also matters that when Congressman Bacon has shown up, the deficit has actually continued to rise. He voted against a middle-class tax cut. And I find it frustrating that when he talks about caring about the middle class, these last 8 years, he has said no when it comes to actually saving you money. When it comes to lowering your prescription drug costs or healthcare costs, he has voted against it. And when it comes to middle-class tax cut, he's also voted to raise your taxes. And so I think it matters, and we're going to make sure we hold him accountable this fall and this November. Because at the end of the day, your pocketbooks, your wallets, how much we can actually save you is ultimately what matters the most. And because of my record in the legislature, I believe not only do I have the experience to get that done for you, but we can no longer afford to have Congressman Bacon voting against middle-class families when he says he does.
Congressman Bacon, your rebuttal, 45 seconds.
Well, Tony is full of phony baloney tonight. I have never voted to raise taxes on the middle class. I have voted to cut taxes, and folks know that. And he talks about his parents working on the factory lines. I did that myself after college while I was waiting to join the Air Force. He says he's a taxpayer defender. He was that one time out of 8 years. So he's proud of 1 year out of the 8 years he served in the unicameral that he was a defender of the taxpayer. He should have been that all 8 years. So in other words, he's been effective for the taxpayer 12.5% of the time. For the voters out there, you got to look at these writers. Don't take his word for it. Don't take my word for it. I've always stood for cutting taxes. I have voted to give back people earning $50,000 a 20% tax cut, and $100,000 earners, I gave them a 16% tax cut.
Congressman Bacon, thank you. Senator Vargas, 45 seconds.
Thank you. Look, the crown jewel he's talking about isn't a middle-class tax cut. It was a tax giveaway to billionaires and multimillionaires. It has been very, very clear that that is most important to Congressman Bacon. And look, it's not surprising to me. When Don Bacon has showed up for these last 8 years, he's voted with Donald Trump almost the majority of the time. He refuses to stand up to his party when it comes to these kind of economic packages. And I think it matters. Yes, he has increased taxes. He's voted against issues that have made it possible for you to put money in your pockets, against lowering prescription drug costs, and against lowering the cost of health insurance premiums. That matters, and we want to make sure to hold you accountable this fall.
All right, thank you, Senator.